So I just picked up my first gimbal ever, and I decided to go with the Moza Air 2. Right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and jump into some test footage for you guys, and then hopefully you'll stick around. I'm going to go ahead and give you my thoughts on my very first gimbal, coming from somebody who has no experience whatsoever with gimbals. So stick around, let's check out the footage. Cool, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that test footage. I literally have had my gimbal for 3 days now, and what you just saw was straight Sony a7 III right on top of the Moza Air 2 with zero post-processing, editing whatsoever. All that you saw there was some 1080p slow-mo clips that I just slowed down inside of Premiere Pro, and a couple of 4K clips that were completely unedited. So before I get into my feelings on the Moza, I just wanted to give you a couple of small specs. I don't want to go into too much, just the basics. So with the Moza Air 2, one of the reasons I decided to get it was because it can support about a 9-pound payload. So that's pretty much going to cover just about any camera out there these days. So I wanted to have a bit of overhead for my camera so that those motors weren't constantly taxed like towards 75% or higher. That way the gimbal was going to last longer. I also decided to go with it because of the 16-hour battery life and the fact that I could take the batteries out and recharge them. I found that that was like one of the better ones on the market. One of the other key factors behind me buying the Moza Air 2 was this little quick release plate. You just screw this into the bottom of your camera, and then once you balance your camera on there, you can just slide this in and out with your camera mounted to it. You don't have to worry about rebalancing the gimbal over and over again. Me, like most people, I'm a hybrid shooter. I like to take pictures and videos, and I like to run and gun a lot, spur of the moment. So I didn't want to have to deal with finicking with balancing the camera every time I wanted to quickly run outside and just film something. So this has been great so far. I've been able to just put my camera on there and go, and it's worked flawlessly. So this gimbal is rather large, and it is kind of heavy. I think it's close to 4 pounds out of the box. So if you mix that with, you know, roughly a 4-pound camera setup, then you're close to 10 pounds. So it does get heavy, but the ergonomics are nice. It has a nice grip, and having this little kickstand on the tripod down there is nice because you definitely want to support this with 2 arms. Even though I have run around like this with 1 arm already, literally sprinting with it, and it's been working out okay. But again, I'm in pretty good shape, but you do start to feel it in your arms and your shoulders. So definitely nice to have this extended length here so that you can disperse some of that weight. So one of the main things that I had trouble researching with a lot of the videos was most people show you using the camera without a microphone mounted on top. So I have a Rode Video Micro. It'll also work with most other microphones like the Rode Video Mic Pro. Basically any kind of shotgun type mic that's going to mount on top of a camera. The nice thing with this, and I'll go ahead and pop up a little recording, is the motor in the back is low enough to where when the camera's mounted on here, you're going to be able to see your LCD, so you can actually see what's going on. I don't have a flip out LCD, so it's just on the back of the camera, so it's really nice that this motor is lower. But because it's also lower and out of the way, when you go to like a parallel shot like this, you can actually go completely parallel to the ground without bumping into the microphone. But that's pretty much going to give you its limit. You're not going to be able to undersling it and carry the gimbal like this, obviously, because that microphone's up top. But I failed to find any videos that you can actually see someone filming like this with the gimbal parallel to the ground. So you're still able to do this and bend down and get some nice low shots where I was following my son on his bike. I mean, the camera does get really heavy when you're holding it like this, but most of the time you're down there for 10 seconds or less. It's not like I'm gonna run for a minute or longer at that length, but I could if I wanted to, and it's nice to know that. So that's one of the main things that I failed to be able to find on the internet in many of these reviews, because again, most people are shooting B-roll footage. They don't even care about the audio. My purposes of the gimbal are to be able to mount it and get all kinds of different variety of shots, but I also like to record with the shotgun mic on top of the camera, like just filming my kid running around, being able to go to the beach and have that audio. I prefer to be able to keep my mic mounted on top, so this will do the trick for most of you out there, trust me. So another nice feature of the gimbal is you can see I have this multi-cable right here that plugs into the gimbal on one end, and the other end plugs into the Sony a7 III, and that enables me to control the recording function with the power button here. So I don't care about changing any of the ISO, aperture, anything like that from the gimbal. I can do all that stuff on the camera, but it is really nice to be able to support this, hold it because it is heavy, and hit the record button and let it go, as opposed to having to support all of the weight of the camera and kind of reach up like this. It's kind of awkward to start recording that way, so it is nice to have this feature. So it's definitely something that helped me also determine to go with this model. I also like that the batteries come in the handle. You can slide off the cover, you can pop the batteries into the charger that it came with, and you can charge them and pop them right back in when you need it. And 16 hours of life, let's face it, that's pretty awesome. And I don't even have 16 hours worth of battery life on my camera, so I'm gonna run out of camera battery well before I'm gonna run out of my Moza Air 2 battery. So again, I wanted to offer my perspective. This is my very first gimbal. I basically just did a lot of research and decided to go with this model based off of what I just told you, and I'm really happy with it. And on top of that, it's $600 new. I went on eBay and I bought it for $400, so I got a heck of a deal. This gimbal's not that old, and I think that it's going to be relevant for a couple more years to come, so I think it's going to last me. I take pretty good care of my stuff, so hopefully nothing will break on it. It feels like it's built pretty well, so I think it's going to hold up. But for $400, if you look around on eBay, you might get lucky and find one like I did. Mine's basically like it's brand new. But even at $600 new, that's not a bad price for a gimbal. There are others that are a lot more. This one's compared a lot to the DJI Ronin S, and that's like $830 or something like that. So even new, this one's cheaper than that, and it has basically all the functions that does, including the nice LCD screen. So I'm still really new to this. I can't speak for its longevity, but so far I'm really happy with the footage that I've already seen coming out of it. And I think that I'm going to be able to fine-tune the settings on the gimbal even more as I get a little bit more experience with it. So that's going to wrap it up for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave those down below and I will do my best to answer those for you. Overall, I'm really happy with this. I hope you will subscribe to the channel and support me and keep me going, keep me making these videos for you guys. And as always, we'll see you guys in the next video.